Hi, Davi Jenda here from at WeLightBeans or at figure.8.energy on Instagram, and I am coming to you from my car. From my car, we're still at the festival. Ryan's asleep, and I'm charging my phone. He's asleep in the camper right next to the car. I have the window down so I can hear him. And every day that I continue to go towards what feels aligned, what makes my body feel at ease, what brings bliss to my soul, every time I make those steps, every time I see that vision and I close my eyes and I feel what it feels like to feel the energy that I want to feel on a daily basis, I feel it. And it's not just because I'm programming myself with it, it's happening in my vortex. And the more we emanate out those energies, the more those energies are attracted to us, and the more we can just embody it too, because the things in our surroundings will start to shift to illuminate those things. And one such thing is divine femininity. When I discovered that I was hyper in my masculine, and that I had been hyper in my masculine for my whole life, I wanted to make the shift towards being more feminine. And you know what? On so many different levels. I actually have a tattoo of a red clover trifolium that symbolizes the moment where I set the intention to embrace my divine feminine within, balance out the masculine and feminine within me. And so I was in Asheville, North Carolina, and there was a whole field of red clovers. And red clover is an herb. It's a woman's herb, so it can help balance hormones. And they're the prettiest pink color. And it just makes you feel ooey gooey and lovely inside. And so that was the moment I decided to be more flowy, less rigid. I still had those tendencies, of course, because it was just the intention I had first set, but it's I want to flow more. I'm a Gemini, so that's a very masculine sign, and growing up, I wanted to be the boy that my dad never had. So I would do all the masculine things. I would not be afraid of the bugs. I would fillet the fish. I would, dive into the handyman stuff and be brave. I wanted to be that boy. And so because of it, I can tap into that masculine side very easily. But the feminine was something that I was a little deterred from, especially the color pink, because it was the symbol of girly, and I did not want to be girly. There was some major wounds around that, And fast forwarding to today, and I was talking to someone, or maybe it was yesterday, I don't know. I was talking to someone about some of the workshops that I would like to attend, and I was yeah, I planned nap time around the Divine Feminine workshop. And they're oh, you're teaching that, right? No. I'm just attending. And they were really? Like, but you should be leading that one. It's like, why would you go to a class when you're already the divine feminine? And for me, I was just like, whoa. Sure, it may be flattery on one level, and the other level is like, other people are seeing me as the intention that I put out all those years ago, and I know I've been working towards it. I know that I'm more light and flowy, and for me, embodying the divine feminine is also allowing yourself to be intuitive and trusting of the divine, and to be connected and to allow things to happen, right? To receive more. Oftentimes when I want something, I would just go after it, right? I put all this action energy into the pursuit of. And nowadays it's more like, okay, I have my eyes set on something and I'm going to allow it to come to me in divine time. And I trust that it's going to happen. I trust that the divine has me. And I can hear all the counter arguments, because I heard this really strongly for the longest time until I kept seeing proof over and over again, right? And, you know, I live that. I live that as my reality. One such example is, just to pick one thing, let's see. Oh, I was thinking, you know, there's lots of things going on during the evening for these festivals, but Rhea needs to sleep, so I put him to sleep, and y'all already know I don't really sleep, you know? I'm already up overnight, but, you know, it's just self-care, or I'm making these videos, or I'm tidying up, doing whatever Davi does in the middle of the night. Just like, whoa, I'm in a place where there's things happening in the middle of the night, so maybe I can go attend something. But it would mean Mirren would have to be in the wagon, and that's fine. However, so it was fine for the sacred fire, right? It was more calm, all of that. But like, I can't go to that drum circle over there. I don't want to wake Rian. It would be nice if he could just be sleeping in the camper. And the manifestation, one of my friends, I have a new friend from Ukraine. She came here because of, you know, all that awful stuff that's happening over there right now. She came over here, and I met her just days before having to set out, and she's so sweet, so lovely, oh my goodness. And I set an intention then too. It's like, I want to be there for her. Genocide has such traumatic effects. Like, I'm first generation in America because my dad had to go through that. And now it's happening again in another country. And now this person has come into my orbit. It's like, I'm not going to be around, but I want to help her feel connected, right? And so I've spent a little bit of time with her whenever we were in that city, and just really lovely, really sweet, but all alone in this country. And so I mentioned to her that she'd be able to get into the festival for free if she volunteered. And to my divine surprise, she was eager to it. You know, it's also Zen awakening, so it's very safe, you know, it's all about love and peace and connecting and healing, and that's exactly what she needs, you know? And so she messaged me today that they responded and they would love to have her to volunteer tomorrow. And I was thinking, how divine. She's coming in shortly. She's on her way here. She just wants to sleep. And she was going to sleep in her car. And I was just like, well, if you want to sleep in my camper, I have another bed. It's like, you can sleep in there, and if you're alright with it, like, Rian's asleep too. I just want somebody there with him. And so that's how that manifested, you know? And I was, you know, initially I was like, yeah, I would like to go do some nighttime stuff, but if not, I'm grateful anyways. And that's the big thing, is not having the expectation that it's absolutely going to happen, but trust that whatever the divine sees is necessary will happen. So if she didn't come, right? I didn't have somebody to stay with Rian overnight, I would be okay with it. I wouldn't be upset. Even when people are like, oh my goodness, you missed out on this incredible ceremony, this incredible experience, I still would be like, I'm glad that you got to experience that. And maybe I just needed rest. Maybe that's what the divine saw. Anyways, that's one of the beauties of setting intentions and tapping into your divine feminine, connecting with Source, letting Source know what your desires are, and then just letting it happen. Letting what is in divine order happen. There are actually quite a number of beautiful things that have happened. They continue to happen on a daily. The connections, the divine connections. And being at this point now, I'm able to look back at even years ago when I made other intentions. And it's all happening, you know? So it might take some time, but it's all in divine time. Whatever you're in that moment, maybe you have some unfinished business that you have to take care of. Maybe some karmic ties need to be cut or untethered, or maybe seen completely through until it's healed. Maybe there's something else that you need to learn. So take each day, moment by moment. Trust that if you see yourself where you want to be, you can be there. Do all of the preliminary stuff right now and set yourself up for that. Energetically, set yourself up for what you want to see, how you want to be. And when you talk to others, speak to them as if it already is. So if you want to open a business, say, I know it's like a big thing. Don't be like, yeah, right now I'm doing all of this stuff and one day I'm going to do that. No, be like, I'm opening a business and this is what it's about. And that interaction, that person now knows you. Has now stamped you as this person who has this thing in the mind, and this is what you're doing. And then they might be able to say, hey, you want to do that? I might have a connect for you. I know this and this person who would be perfect. And this has happened countless times. And one of the beautiful things is I went to a workshop today while Rian was napping. See how this is panning out? And it was on getting funding, grants, and writing proposals for your business or nonprofit. Hey y'all, right? That's like what I've been wanting. Tap more into that frequency. And a lot of the things in the beginning I already knew. You know, I've had businesses before. But some of the other things gave me ideas. It's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I can do this. The guy that was doing the presentation, he mainly deals in the wildlife sector, but on large scales, to where he's involving congressmen and governors and mayors in different organizations, right? But he's just a small nonprofit, but he's doing these big things. And that's me. I want to be a small nonprofit making huge waves. I am a small nonprofit with the intention of making huge ripples. And I've already started, and I'm making connections, and I'm going to continue to do that, you know? And I think about how a couple years ago, more than a couple years ago, okay, actually, when I had the restaurant, I went to an animal rights march, and I wanted to speak on the energetics of eating animals, like what they go through, how that energy is stamped into their meat and their flesh, and how it translates into the human body when you consume it. And at the time, nobody is talking energy, right? And so I had to open the restaurant, get it all ready to open, ride my bike 3 miles to the park, do the speech, and then ride my bike back right away and jump back into action at the restaurant. And I remember getting in front of everybody and speaking on it so passionately, not expecting people to really resonate with me because I'm talking energy, you know, and when I did, it clicked for so many folks and gave them a new perspective, and they were so receptive of it, and I just felt so great, you know. I allowed myself to receive some kudos, but I had to jump on my bike and jump back into action. But when I was riding my bike back, guess what I learned how to do? I could ride my bike with no handlebars, no handlebars, no handlebars. I rode my bike with no handlebars for the first time because I was feeling so good, so confident, and so aligned. And I was like, yeah, I want to do more of this. I want to teach more. I want to speak more. I want to be in front of a lot of people and share my offerings. And I've seen myself traveling from like large communities, like property to property, like staying in areas and then knowing I have to leave, and then I'm on like these big stages doing these teachings, and then I come back, and you know, that's all I could see. And now I'm living that reality. It all happened in divine time. And that is aligned with the divine feminine that I wanted to tap into more. I am receiving all of these opportunities to be able to do the thing that I envisioned happening. And that vision, no doubtedly, was from Source, right? Source is like, hey, I see your code. I know your human design. I know what will make you thrive, make you feel really alive and good when you do it, and be in service, because everybody is here for a particular purpose, right? Or reason, or story. And I know mine is to elevate frequency, and I can do it in so many ways. I've already done it in so many ways, and I feel like I'm to express this. I want y'all to feel it, you know? If you're a feminine watching this, really tap into your divine feminine and trust your intuition. And for everybody else, still put that energy in your vortex. Still make energetic space for it. Clear out the clutter, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. Make room for the person that you want to be, for the existence that you want to have. I think I'm going to save my voice and go on stage tomorrow. Again. These are happy tears. Oh yeah. And I've been totally rocking my ears. I love just, expressing myself, and it's just like a normal thing, like it's just accepted. Sometimes somebody will make a comment on it and I'm just like, oh yeah. Or if somebody hugs me and the ear falls off, I was like, oh no, my human side. Like, oh my goodness. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. And Rian, oh, he's so happy. He loves this. He lives for this. Oh, I'm so grateful that he's a Sagittarius, my little adventure buddy. He'll learn everything. He'll be interested in everything. And being in environments like this where he's around conscious, loving people, he's around these frequencies, is really setting him up to be the little king that he came here to be. Like, he told me in the womb space who he was. He told me he was here to partner with me. I was like, okay, I've been on this earth realm for a little bit. I can help navigate you. You're gonna have your own thing, but I'll teach you what I know. That's what we're doing. Okay. Bye, y'all.